Hey everyone, welcome back to Modern Retro Gal. My name's JL in case you're new here. And today I thought I would do an update of where I'm at with my depression. Excuse me, still have a little frog in my throat from being sick for 3 weeks in February. Excuse me, the end of December, I did a video opening up about my struggle with depression. And so I thought that it's important to keep that conversation going. So I thought I would kind of do a check-in today. Also partly because there was kind of a, backhanded comment that got left on one of my recent videos. And I totally understand that as my channel continues to grow, those sort of negative comments will come in. But what they were specifically criticizing me for is actually something that's still related to my depression and sort of out of my control on some days. So I thought that I would sort of do this update and kind of talk about that, because that's one thing that I had learned about in therapy and my group therapy classes, are the different sort of side effects or excuse me, behaviors that can go along with depression. And basically what I was criticized for was saying too many times. And I know I've said it, I've heard myself say it a few times here, but basically the person said, and I've since deleted the comment, so you don't even have to like go and look for it or anything like that, but they basically said that they couldn't watch the video because I had been saying so many times, and it was really too bad because I'm so adorable. Which, it's a really, backhanded slap comment, kind of, insult and compliment mixed together. But it got me thinking about, whenever I film, I go back and I watch the footage and, I edit and that kind of thing. And so I'm aware of how many times I say in a video, and believe me, it irritates me. It's really frustrating, but I don't always have time to go back and refilm. Sometimes because of the way I'm talking, where the ums come in, I can't always edit them out. Otherwise it would be like hundreds of edits, not hundreds of edits, but it would be a lot of edits and it would just start to get really choppy and kind of bizarre. So the thing is, with the ums, there is kind of a reason that is connected to my depression and anxiety when those come out. And basically what I learned is that a side effect or a byproduct of depression and anxiety is that oftentimes you can lose your ability to access your vocabulary. It's kind of sort of like what happens to some stroke victims when they know what they want to say, but they can't get the words out, and it's very frustrating for them. The same thing can happen to people who are suffering from depression. It was something that I have struggled with. Not as much now, but definitely it was very difficult before I started seeking treatment. There were times when my husband would come home and he could tell that I needed to talk about how I was feeling that day. And I would try to explain it, and I just couldn't get my words out, or I wasn't saying the right words for whatever reason. And he's like, it's okay. We can talk about it later when you're, ready to talk about it. So there were times when I would get so frustrated that I would start crying because I did want to talk about what was going on, but I just couldn't. I couldn't verbalize. I couldn't access my vocabulary. The connection, that signal that goes from your brain to your mouth to get the words out, it wasn't connecting. It wasn't firing. It wasn't sending that message out. So when you're watching my videos, you can kind of tell where I am mentally that day while I'm filming, because the more the more I'm tripping over my words, the more I'm having a hard time speaking or spitting my words out. is indicative of where I am mentally that day. So should I not film on those days? I don't think that I should quit filming on those days, because it's actually really helpful for me and for my mental health when I do film, because it gives my mind something else to focus on, something fun to focus on, instead of going down the distorted thought patterns that happen with depression and anxiety. So, you know, you could cut me like a little bit of slack in that department. I mean, sometimes, you know, we all say or at times when we're just sort of trying to transition our thoughts, and maybe it's not as smooth. So it is something that I am aware of. It is something, especially I know it's frustrating when you watch a video and there's a lot of the kind of filler words in. So, you know, it's something that I am conscious of and that I am working towards, but I do still have days where sometimes the brain just isn't working as great. And so that's going to kind of show through in the videos in the form of and otherwise I would just start talking and then keep going. That might be a little bit easier to edit, that sort of dead space, but again, there would still be a lot of edits. It just wouldn't be it'd just be dead space, you know. So it's kind of a trade-off. Anyway, so that's kind of what I wanted to address, one of the things. So if you know someone who's going through depression and anxiety, and you find that maybe they have a hard time speaking, or they just never want to talk about it, it may be that they may want to talk about it, but they just can't verbalize it. It's a very frustrating process to go through, believe me. So otherwise, I am doing a lot better. I still see my therapist about once every 2 to 3 weeks. I have one more class in my depression group therapy class I was sick at, so I have one more class coming up this month, and then I'll be done with that. And I really learned a lot from that class. I learned a lot of tools. I really learned to understand the cycle of depression and things to look out for, behaviors to look out for that can lead me down the rabbit hole of another deep depression cycle. So it was really helpful. I got to a point where I was a little bit paranoid that maybe I was feeling better too quickly, but my therapist is very comfortable with where I'm at. I still have a lot of things to work on and behaviors to work on, but I'm very self-aware now. And so I am, really working hard towards a regular routine for myself, because that keeps the brain sort of focused on things, but not overloading myself so that I get worn out, because then that can cause a, relapse for depression. So I am taking medication. I started it at the end of December. I think when I did the video, I had just started the medication. I have since gone up on the dosage from where I started. They always start everyone on the lowest dosage of it. Excuse me. And so I feel a lot better. A lot of the negative thought distortions have gone. I still have times when I still kind of deal with things here and there, but it's still very early on in the recovery process for the depression. And I was in a depression cycle for a very long time, probably close to 9 years. I had been cycling through on a very regular basis. So where I'm at, I'm doing really good. I feel really positive about life again. I am a lot more active in my daily life. I'm a lot more social right now. I still deal with some social anxiety, so it is kind of a constant battle to keep that going, but I'm doing a lot better. I'm a lot happier. Obviously, you've seen a lot more videos from me this year, so that's indicative of how well all of the treatment is working. So that is it for me. I just kind of wanted to put this out there as like some food for thought and to keep the conversation going, because I do think it's important to continue talking about depression and where we're at with it. So yeah, thanks so much for watching, and thank you all for being positive subscribers and, you know, being there to sort of help me through bad days with your lovely comments. And again, I'm not opposed to constructive criticism at all, but you know, there's a fine line between constructive criticism and being a dick. Let's be real. So that is it for me. Thanks so much for watching. Please be sure, if you are new, to hit that subscribe button. I promise not all of my videos are this deep. They are usually fun makeup and skincare and other fun things to talk about, but this is something that you will see these kind of updates pop up from time to time on my channel when I think one is due. So that's it for me. Hope you all are having a great day. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.